Now, in looking across time, you see there are two primary ways of organizing lexical items. First, books can be organized by cataloging words based on meaning or how they're used in a sentence. So, parts of speech are grouped together into lists of nouns, verbs, adjectives, etc. The other way is to still go by the meaning of the word, but by using the spelling of English or French translations called glosses. How people then organize these into a dictionary is by sorting the glosses alphabetically according to their orthography. This alphabetic organization is the same as what's used in other dictionaries. Now you can use the same idea with signs. Based on meaning, glosses are assigned, and that list of signs is then reorganized according to the initial letters of the English glosses. One of these two approaches are used in almost all books that catalog sign language. But now, I'll talk about a radical new approach proposed by Stokoe in 1960. Stokoe, whose name is signed like this, advised against using either of these popular approaches. The function-based one, or the gloss translation method, and instead proposed using the features of signs themselves, relying on the internal components to organize books according to the sign form. Now look at this point. I'll talk about what was needed to implement that kind of system. Stokoe was a proponent of this idea because he wanted to catalog not just signs, but variations of signs as well. He had already observed that people could use different signs with the same meaning, so he wanted to record these various forms. The best way to do that was to use the idea of a formation-based approach to organizing dictionaries. Now, Stokoe also proposed using a new term, chirology, to describe the study of sign formation. The three components are listed here. The first, designator, refers to hand shape. You can see it abbreviated in this picture as DEZ. So that was for hand shape. Another was tabula, for location. In the literature, this is abbreviated as tab. Next, signation meant movement and is abbreviated sig. Stokoe proposed that from then on, any discussion should be more scientific. So instead of borrowing the terms movement, location, and hand shape, he argued for the use of these terms, but they're no longer used. These are what Stokoe must have known would be challenges. I'll elaborate on them, starting with the first one. Basically, he had to start by breaking down the parts of a sign and assigning a symbol to each part. Next, the system had to allow for multiple symbols to describe and show layers of interaction through embedding. Next, using multiple symbols would require establishing a basic order to help organize such a large number of signs, much like in orthography. Finally, a dictionary could be organized by sign forms using these principles. Stokoe also wondered whether anyone else had tried to create a similar notation system already, and found one. Mimography. Unlike Stokoe's system of chirology, this person created mimography, which is a French term, focused on movement to analyze the components of signs. Similarly, this system used discrete symbols, which I'll discuss. The system was invented by Roche-Ambroise Bébillon in France. Bébillon proposed symbols for location that looked like these. In taking a closer look, you see that his system could describe the entire body. Each arm, and even the legs are included. In this column are parts of the face, including the tongue, cheek, ears, seen here. The heart is included too, for signs made on that part of the chest. The system was truly capable of including the entire body, which begs the question of whether this level of detail was necessary. We'll take a look at the history of how early signs were formed, and it does appear that people communicated more gesturally and could use the entire body. We'll pick up on that concept another time. For now, I'd like to focus on the idea that these systems set forth the contrasts needed for categorizing signs. Next, I'll talk more about Bébillon's orthography.